Welcome everybody to the 2021 Seton Hill Women's Lacrosse Season Preview. I'm Dan Flickinger with the Westmoreland Sports Network, and I'm joined by the head coach getting ready for her 12th overall season here at Seton Hill University, Courtney Grove. Coach spent 4 years as head coach at Seton Hill from 2008 to 2011. She went to Marquette for 2 years, then returned to Seton Hill in 2014. Last season, the Griffins began the year with a 3-3 record before the COVID shutdown. The last game they played, a pretty wild game, Coach, 17-15 win over IUP. That started PSAC play last year on March 12th, and then, of course, COVID struck. So, Coach, thank you so much. It's good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining me, yeah. So you start the season with a trip to Shippensburg on Wednesday. Now, depending on when people were watching this, the game may have happened already, but we're recording this on Tuesday here. So what do you envision the energy and excitement level will be like to finally get out on the field and face somebody else?
I think there's going to be great energy. I think there's going to be a little bit of nervous energy since we haven't stepped on the field in 363 days as a team and against another opponent. But overall, I think it's going to be great energy out there. They're excited. I can feel it at practice. I can feel a little bit of the nerves, but I can feel a little bit of we just want to play. We just want to go out there. Other spring sports are playing now. They see it. They're watching film and stuff. So I think it's exciting.
One of the big points of being a coach, I know, and one of the things you have to do is motivate. I think this year maybe you won't have that much of an issue doing that.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing we just keep saying is play it like it's your last game. You know, we went out there against IUP last year and we didn't realize it was going to be our last game, and we played it with that energy, and I think that we're just going to carry that over this year.
What was it like mentally, Coach, for the girls to go through what they did last year, and how did you guys try to stay together virtually in the spring?
It was tough. I think the first initial shock was, okay, we're just going home for 2 weeks. Let's just go home for 2 weeks and we'll regroup. Let's take some time away. Maybe it's a good break in our season. And then it was a month. And then it was, okay, now what? And everything got shut down. So I think at first it was okay, and then it just kept kind of hitting them. So we just continued to stay on Zoom as if we were going to return, do a lot of team building. And I also gave them a break too to kind of be with their families and be with, you know, the people that supported them at home at that given time.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can take some positives out of what happened last spring to be able to stay, you know, be with your family. Obviously, you were able to be with your 3 kids and your husband Matt for a little while.
Oh yeah, quite a long time. I didn't realize being home with my 3 kids, but it was great because I really didn't get that time with all 3 of them ever in a spring, so it was awesome. We did a lot of outside activities, found a lot of trails, kept ourselves active.
Yeah, that's fun. Now, what were some of the things you guys did over Zoom? We've been talking to all the coaches about, you know, what they were able to do, you know, over Zoom. We're going to be talking with Colleen about that as well. But what were some of the things that you guys did as a team?
Yeah, we did some scavenger hunts via Zoom, some karaoke nights, some team bonding. We also had guest speakers, and we're still having them. We're still doing a lot of stuff over Zoom with guest speakers like a nutritionist, a leadership guy from the Army. We've had kids, people that have gone through championships to just explain what a championship is like. So we're just trying to be innovative and use the best that we can with our technology right now.
Now, did the coaches have to do karaoke, or was it just
No, just the players, just the players.
You were able to get out of it.
Yeah.
So I know you're used to the new normal by now.
Yeah.
But what are some of the things that you have to do differently now that you didn't have to do in the past because of COVID?
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I was just talking to somebody about this last night. You have the normal game nerves, but then you also have your testing nerves. Is everybody going to come out negative, or are you going to be contact tracing and this and the next? You're now making a bus, you know, scheduling how you're going to sit on the bus, a seating chart on the bus, where are we going to eat, how are we going to stop and eat and make sure that everyone's taken care of okay. So I think there's just that little bit in the back of your mind, especially as a coach, but you don't want to put that at the forefront for the players. You want to make sure the players are staying positive and just continuing to think we're just here to play a game, and that's what we're going to do. And I think that's how we present ourselves on the field, and that's what we want to continue to do. And
you have to get, tested every other, 50% of the team gets tested every other week?
Yeah, every other week. Yep, so we're good right now.
All right, well, let's stop talking about COVID. Let's
talk
about
I like that.
Before we really look at this year's team, let's talk about the players that you say goodbye to, Coach, from last year. Probably the biggest name, Emma Haley, a midfielder and defender, but along with her, attack Brooke Lawrence, defender, Olivia Carrigan, also Ellie Euchre. Talk about what those girls did at Seton Hill.
They were awesome. We actually invited them back for our first home game since they really didn't get that ending. You know, they didn't get that ending to the season. So we invited them all back. Hopefully they can all make it to our home game on March 20th here against Slippery Rock. But they were great. They were great leaders. Emma, for instance, the year before hurt her shoulder, bandaged it up and went out and played. Just showed the warriors and stuff like that they were. And they continued to stick with us through COVID as well, you know, when they could. So we owe a lot to them.
Well, offensively, Seton Hill returns its top 7 scorers this year. Christy Cata's 17 goals led the way last year. Has to make you happy to be able to return so much talent.
Yeah.
I was actually talking with Coach Novotny about the same thing, because with COVID, you never know who's going to be able to come back or who's going to be moving on with their life's work, if you will. But just like with the men's lacrosse team, you guys return a lot of your top scorers. It has to make you feel fortunate.
It does, and it just makes you feel like, okay, we can just build off of what we ended with last year. It's been difficult, but getting back into the groove of things, but now we can just continue to build and use each other to get better.
What were some of those things that you liked from what you saw from your team last year that you think you can continue this year then?
The goal scoring was distributed amongst a lot of people. Like Chrissy would have a great game one game, then Alyssa would be stepping up, or Kate would be stepping up, Jackie would be passing the ball inside, Taylor. There's just so many people. And then we had kids coming off the bench that you didn't know what they were going to give you either. So it was awesome to see we had so many different contributors last year.
Well, I want to ask you about Christy. She burst onto the scene last year as a freshman, 17 goals. 3 assists, of course. Her sister, of course, Kate Cata, has been a solid contributor since her junior season. What makes Christy a special goal scorer, and what are the similarities and differences between the sisters?
That's awesome. That's great. It's always good to have sisters on the team, right? Because they bring something different.
I feel like you've had a number of them.
Yeah, we had the Simmer sisters. Same thing. You know, Emma was that midi that would just run and run and run, and then Nora was our solid defender in the back. Kate and Christy, however, both play the midfield. Kate gives us more strength on the defensive end, where Christy's going to give us more strength on the offensive end. But the great thing about both of them is they read each other, like they're just great. They read each other really well, and I think everyone's starting to build off of that. The difference between Kate and Christy is Christy's just real laid back. You know, she just plays the game. Kate, you can see it. She's that leader. She's putting everything out on the field every given day and stuff like that, and just try and sometimes you want to be like, take a little bit of Christy's laid back, you know, personality. Hardest workers though, man. Those 2 girls, they will show up in the weight room and work hard. They will be out on the field running extra and stuff like that. So, and I think the team, you know, rides on their backs a little bit.
I was going to say, it makes it easy for a team to be built around 2
Absolutely.
girls like that, isn't it? Take me through some of your other top scorers, Coach. Jacqueline Frank collected 14 points last year. Alyssa Ferentz, a couple of seniors there. Ferentz was second on the team in goals with 10. And another senior, Taylor Fox-Trudell, 8 goals. Seems like a good mix. You have those seniors, and then you have Christy, who's now a sophomore, leading the way. Yeah,
I think Jackie, she's going to continue to be a threat behind, whether she's feeding or she's attacking. We're trying to get her to play everywhere right now. She just is that heart. She really puts everything out on the field. Same thing. I mean, our girls really truly do show hard work and their heart and everything. Alyssa, same thing. That girl is a sponge. Everything that we tell her, she tries. So I want to just continue to see her succeed and continue to see her learn throughout the whole season. And Taylor, she gives us her left hand. You know, there's very little kids that have that natural left hand. Taylor's one of them.
Now, who will you be depending on defensively this year? Our player interview is with Colleen Roy, so I know there's going to be a lot being dependent upon her and picking up that slack back there.
So Colleen's a great leader, again, hard worker. I cannot say every kid on this team comes and shows up and works hard every day. I cannot say that enough. And Kitner, Michaela Kitner is going to be another contributor back there. Now that she's a sophomore, she has a little bit, again, not much under her belt, but a little bit under her belt. So her and Colleen are going to be 2 duos back there that are going to help, you know, the younger ones that might not have as much experience out on the field. And Delaney, she will also be returning. She was a starter last year, so.
Well, so you have the defenders, and then you have your last line of defense in goal. And right now, a little competition going on between Camille Ward and Kylie Hessian. What is that competition like, and you know, what should we expect from those 2 girls this season?
It's great competition. We could put either one of them in cage right now. One's given us something different each practice, so it's really great that we have that, you know, backbone back there. If Camille's feeling it, she's getting it. If Kylie feels it, she's getting it. So it's great, and they're actually competing with each other, and the players are competing with them too. You know, trying to see who they can score on, and then if they Camille and Kylie have been stuffing them at practice. So it's great to see the competitiveness every day.
Well, and that makes everybody better.
Oh, absolutely.
That's the most important thing. What is it like coaching your cousin, Liz? Now, let me make sure I have your maiden name right.
Thomasitis.
Thomasitis. Oh my goodness, that's not how I was going to say it. Okay, Thomasitis, because we started covering after you got married.
Yeah,
of course.
absolutely.
So, Grove is a little easier to pronounce.
Yeah. Oh yes.
No offense.
Much easier.
To your family.
No, we say that.
Talk a little bit about coaching your cousin.
Yeah, it's great. There's always that little bit of family rivalry when you go home for Thanksgiving or you do certain things. But she is, if I had to pick anybody out of the bunch, she's one that just will put her head down and go. And I've always said to her, I'm going to be harder on you than anybody else. And she takes it. And I think in the end, she just is a great kid, great player, and we're just happy to have her.
And you didn't have to do much, probably hard work to recruit her? Maybe?
No, I just smiled and said, come on.
You're not going anywhere else. So Seton Hill was picked to finish second in the PSAC West coaches poll behind Mercyhurst and in front of IUP, Lock Haven, Slippery Rock, and Smothers. Westchester and East Stroudsburg lead the East. They are also nationally ranked. So what do you see when you kind of look at the conference this year, Coach?
It's going to be tough. It's a grueling match every game. You have to show up. It's a dogfight. So that is what the best thing about our conference is, that you could be number 2 ranked preseason right now, but you're fighting against everybody every day.
What do you enjoy most about coaching lacrosse?
It's just fun. It's it's a fast-paced game. I played it. I love it. It's changing every day and every year. And I think the change is just making it better, and it's allowing you to learn and continue to grow.
Are there any specific rule changes for this year, Coach?
Not this year, just more with the COVID and stuff like that.
Sure.
But other than that, not anything specific.
How's the dynamic been with coaching field hockey now? I know you lost your fall season with field hockey.
Yeah.
But I believe this would have been your second year coaching field hockey, right? Okay.
Yep.
How's that dynamic been for you? I'm sure it's been hectic.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's really hard trying to balance both, but I love it. It keeps me busy with the 3 little ones at home and then the 2 sports here. I always like to be busy. I always like to learn and grow, not only as a coach but as an individual, and that team is allowing me to grow in a whole nother way. I played field hockey and stuff, so it has helped me get back into the roots of what I started playing sports, and I think growing that team is just making me learn more and become a better individual.
Last thing I want to ask you about before we talk to Colleen, your team's doing something really neat this year called the Goal-a-thon during the season. Can you kind of explain how that works and just how people can get involved if they want?
Yeah, absolutely. What we're doing is we're asking people to submit if they want to donate for how many goals we score during the season. So you can donate anywhere from $0.25 to $1, whatever you would like. You can go on our website, Seton Hill Athletics website, and you'll find it there. And that's just going to help us in the future we want to redo our locker room, and we want to continue to go on our spring break trip where we're playing nationally ranked teams and stuff and team building. So it's just allowing us to grow as a team.
Yeah. So if you'd like to do that, athletics.setonhill.edu. That's a really cool thing, and it helps out the women's lacrosse program. And usually, Coach, our first interview of the year is during a baseball game.
Yeah, that's true. In Florida.
You guys support each other so well down there. I know you'll make sure you guys get to a baseball game, and the baseball players make sure they get to one of your games, and we usually get you on the air. Unfortunately, this year it didn't happen. Hopefully next year,
yes,
we'll be able to.
We're hoping
we'll be able to go through that again. But Coach, this was great. Thank you so much for joining me, and we're going to bring in Colleen. Okay.
All right. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much.
That is Coach Courtney Grove of the Seton Hill Women's Lacrosse team. They do a great job on social media too. You can follow them on Twitter and on Instagram as well. We're going to take a quick break for Seton Hill Athletics, and we'll talk with senior Colleen Roy right after this message.
When I first came back, one of the first things that blew me away was our facilities. How the fields have grown up in that whole complex down the hill. Our weight room now, how that has been remodeled and changed and overhauled.
Our baseball field is, in my opinion, one of the best in the nation, Division II wise. And just having Sullivan Gym open for us all the time with the nets in there whenever we wanted to get work in, which is possibly why I got to where I am, because all the extra work that I did put in.
I think our facilities are one of the best across the PSACs, and that's definitely a huge recruiting tool as we are able to draw the athletes for the academics in addition to the great things they can get on the athletic side of it.
I don't think I would be able to thrive in a big school. I think I like that the professors know my name. I like that when I'm walking down the hall I can say hi to someone and I actually know them.
Welcome back to the Seton Hill Women's Lacrosse Season Preview Show. I'm Dan Flickinger once again with the Westmoreland Sports Network. You heard from Coach Grove, and now it is time to talk with Colleen Roy, a senior defender from Doylestown, Pennsylvania, and Arundel High School. Colleen, thank you so much for taking some time out of your very busy schedule. You guys actually get to prepare for a game. You got to be excited.
It's so excited. You have no idea.
Well, tell us a little bit about that excitement level. You opened the season against Shippensburg, which if we're recording this on Tuesday, so you opened the season on Wednesday against Shippensburg. Again, talk a little bit about how excited the entire team is.
I think everyone's just really excited to have the opportunity to get back out there after what happened last season with COVID-19. We're all just really excited. We've been practicing and practicing for so long, and now we finally get the chance to go out and play as one unit on the field.
Has to be exciting. I'm sure it was exciting to start practicing and start playing against each other, but to actually play against another team, some other colors.
Yeah, it'll be really cool. Yeah,
that's got to be fun. So last year, you guys come back from Florida. You opened PSAC play with a crazy win against IUP. It was high scoring, 17-15. And then you get the news, unfortunately, that the season is over. So what do you kind of remember about that day? I know it's not a day you want to remember, but just when you heard the news and that type of thing, Colleen.
I remember the game ending and a lot of people looking around, like some people had already heard the news, but I didn't hear it yet. And then my mom was actually at the game, and I remember her saying, like, I think that's it, like, you're not going to play anymore. Wow. No, it was definitely heartbreaking, a little crushing, just I think mostly for the seniors because we weren't sure what they were going to do. And I mean, it was all unknown, like no one knew what was really happening. I guess COVID hadn't really like interjected itself into the United States quite as much yet, so it was still kind of scary just to know that something that big was affecting us in such a big way, so it was definitely a sad day.
Yeah, I remember when they canceled everything, I think the first thing I heard about was like the NCAA basketball tournament. And I thought, why don't they wait like a month at least? And little did we know, a year later, we'd still be doing this. So hopefully sooner rather than later, we'll have to, we can stop wearing masks and everything. Yeah. What would you say helped you get through what you went through personally last spring? I mean, I know everybody was going through the same thing, but just from your perspective, not being able to be on campus, being able to be around your friends and your teammates, what kind of got you through it?
I mean, I personally have a really great support system at home that I have a lot of debt of gratitude towards, and our coaching staff did a great job of making sure that we were still included and felt a part of a team. We had team Zoom calls and team karaoke nights on Zoom, all sorts of fun activities, different like scavenger hunts via Zoom. That was kind of the way everyone communicated. So they were just really creative about finding different ways for us to stay.
Do you remember some of the songs that you sang during
I just remember we had like this Christmas or this like holiday themed one where we had to do like Jingle Bells a cappella. It was definitely,
oh my gosh,
we definitely are meant to be on the lacrosse field.
That recording has to be somewhere.
I hope not. I hope not.
We'll have to dig that out and play it on first women's lacrosse broadcast of the season. So you talk about that challenge, but even academically, not being able to be in the classroom, was that challenging for you?
Yeah, it definitely was. It's really hard to go from having that accountability of study hall every other night and then going to class, having your teammates there to study with you and to help you with homework. So it was definitely hard to go back, and even for the teachers just to have everything online and to get used to turning things in without having any sort of like face-to-face contact was really difficult. But
well, especially here at Seton Hill because it is small class sizes compared to like a IUP or something.
Exactly.
So it had to be a pretty big change for that reason.
It definitely was, but they were all the teachers and the educators at Seton Hill did a really great job with that.
Well, I'm sure you're very excited in the fall to at least be back on campus at that point.
Without a doubt.
Now you're ready to go.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about this year's team, Colleen. A lot of talent returned from last year, thankfully. What do you like most about your team coming into the season opener?
I think we have a lot of talent. That's my favorite thing, is that everyone has such raw talent in the game of lacrosse. It's so cool to see some of these underclassmen and upperclassmen just bring it every day at practice and be able to do certain things. I'm like, whoa, you guys are real good. Yeah. So just being able to see everyone be able to share their passion with other people is really cool. And everyone's really dedicated. And I think just at Seton Hill, we've always had such a great mission and such a great family aspect that has carried through ever since I've been here. So that's my favorite thing about our team.
Very well said. And any recruit that Coach Grove is going after to hear what you just said, because it's certainly true. Now, getting ready for your senior season,
yes.
What goals would you say you have for yourself?
Just a personal goal is to leave everything out there. I feel like that's a senior typical goal to say, just because you don't know how many more games, especially now, like you never want to go into a season thinking you're guaranteed all 12 games or however many you have, because we were only given one last year. So being able to leave everything out in the field. And I guess the personal goal would probably be to pick up at least 5 ground balls every game. Okay. I'm a defender, so scoring isn't really on my my radar. But ground balls,
you're a very important part of this team. To be a senior defender and do what you do on the back. I mean, that's important. So we'll be seeing if you can achieve that goal. I'm sure you will. So how long have you been playing lacrosse? What kind of got you into the sport?
I've been playing lacrosse since I was in 2nd grade, actually. We moved to Annapolis, Maryland, and it was like the big hubbub right when we moved there. So I went out, and ever since then I've been playing.
All right, that's very cool. So you also play field hockey, so I got to ask you the question. Now, I know lacrosse is in season right now, but what sport do you like better, and what similarities or differences are there with both sports?
Honestly, I don't know if I could pick a favorite. I have a lot of positives to say about both. I would say that since I'm in lacrosse, my head is definitely more in the lacrosse mindset right now. They're similar because they both bring out such great qualities in different people. Like when you're on the field, you're able to work together as a unit, which I really like to do. And then they're so different, though, in the style of play and how you move the ball up and down the field. Like lacrosse is much more like attack and defense, whereas field hockey you're almost moving up as one, moving back as one. But just being able to be out on the field, really, any sport I'd love to do so.
It is unfortunate, obviously, you lost the fall season for field hockey, but were you excited that Coach Grove decided to coach both sports? I know it's probably been very hectic for her.
It definitely has.
That she took over as the field hockey coach.
Yes, the program owes a lot of gratitude to Coach Grove. She took over and really helped us out in a really tricky situation, so I forever will be grateful for her doing that.
What are you majoring in at Seton Hill? What's your plans for after school?
I am an elementary and special education major. My plans are actually to come back to Seton Hill, so I'll be staying for my 5th year to do the master's program here at Seton Hill, and I believe I'll play lacrosse again for one more year. So I do have one more season, hopefully, with everything going on, and then I'll probably just travel around and become a teacher somewhere.
Yeah, that's right. You got some time. You know what I mean? So enjoy it, that's for sure. Well, that's good to hear that you have one more season.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you're focused right now on
focused on tomorrow.
The Shippensburg game. This was great. Thank you so much, Colleen, and congratulations for your success. And
thank you.
And good luck this year, okay?
Thank you so much.
That is Colleen Roy, senior defender for the Seton Hill women's lacrosse team, and that is going to do it for our season preview show. Again, the Griffins, depending on when you're watching this, will open the season, and maybe they already did open the season, again, depending on when you're watching the preview. We'll open the season against the Shippensburg Red Raiders. We will have several broadcasts of Seton Hill women's lacrosse on our network. You can also watch lacrosse games on the Seton Hill portal as well. I'm Dan Flickinger, and we'll talk to you soon from Dick's Sporting Goods Field.